It's reset time, aka today is the day we are going to clean out my everyday makeup drawer, go through everything, put products back, do a brand new shop my stash, pick out the products that I want to use and focus on for the next month or so. I also need to wash my brushes and I'm getting ready to go on a trip, so I figured we would do a pack with me together. So on camera, we're going to pick out the makeup that I'm planning to bring with me on this trip and the skincare. A full reset is needed. This vanity behind me, we need to get into it. Let's start off actually though with some empties. In the spirit of cleaning, reorganizing, these are a few products I've been holding on to share on camera, and let's do that now. I don't have too many, but I always love updating you on my empties. Okay, starting with a perfume empty. This is missing, no, that's not true. This is Fleur Mood Ring. I'm getting it confused with another Fleur perfume, but this was a mini of it. I adore this perfume and I already miss having it in my collection. Like the last day that I wore this, I took the top off and I was just like trying to get every last drip out of this. Ugh, even the bottle, it smells delicious. I might repurchase this one. I want to because I already miss having it in my collection, but I do have a substantial size perfume collection. I want to work through some others before I run out and repurchase this. So I think I'll hold off on that, but I am incredibly tempted because I loved this fragrance. Some skincare. I used up this moisturizer from Rhode. This is their Barrier Restore Cream. It is a moisturizer and I liked this one. I wouldn't say it was anything special. Like I don't find that this is one I want to run out and repurchase. I don't necessarily miss having it in my collection, but I did enjoy it. It was a pretty standard moisturizer for me, but I did also go ahead and use up the Drunk Elephant face wash. This is their Bestie No. 9 Jelly Cleanser. I believe this is the second one of these that I've gone through. I really love this cleanser. Like, cleanser is a category you can easily find at the drugstore at a really affordable price, and I love my drugstore cleansers, but I don't know what it is. Something about this is just so gentle. My skin really likes it, so I might run out and repurchase this. I do have a different cleanser going right now in my bathroom, so obviously I want to work through that, but I really do like this cleanser. It's just so nice and gentle. And this moisturizer is another one I'm sad to be finished with. This is the Inky List Omega Water Cream. I adore this moisturizer for AM. It's not super intensely nourishing, so I don't use this one at nighttime, but I do like using it during the day when I'm applying makeup because I feel like it kind of, I'm not going to say it acts like a primer, but it's a really wonderful moisturizer to put foundation on top of. I just feel like my makeup wears really well on top of this because it has this really gel-like consistency to it that doesn't feel overly hydrating or greasy, and it sinks into the skin really well, but also does a really effective job hydrating. So I love this one. I will miss this one. This is one of my favorites. We'll definitely repurchase. Honestly, I liked all of these, but I would say the biggest standout was Mood Ring. I missed this one already, but now we're going to get into my makeup drawers. Let's go clean that out. Welcome to my vanity. It is not as bad as we have seen it before, but it definitely still needs some help. So I want to clean this drawer out, take everything out, put a lot of these things back into my storage bins, and then swap that out for a new Shop My Stash. Some of these things will stay, but I'm thinking most of it's going to go back. So let's start with that. Really just like kind of moving things out. This is actually almost empty. It's the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer, and it's like pretty close to being empty. So I actually think this one, once we get everything cleaned out, I'm gonna put this one back in so I can use it up completely pretty soon. I just got a new one of these. This is the NYX Thick It Stick It Brow Gel. I really love this stuff, and I was just about out of this one, so I got a new one. This I've been testing out. This is the new foundation from Well People. I actually got shade matched this at an event recently, and they shade matched me to the shade 14 Neutral. I've probably worn this like 2 or 3 times at this point, and I do like it. I feel like it sits pretty well on the skin. The coverage is definitely very light, but I want to keep playing around with this, so we'll probably put this one back in the drawer also when we do the Shop My Stash. Oh, also, while I have this here, I got the e.l.f. dupes for the Moon Dust shadow. So here's the original. This is like the old packaging. And then I picked up 2 from e.l.f. This is White Hot and this is Champagne Showers. And I've used these like once. I can't decide what I think. It definitely feels a little bit different than the original Moon Dust ones. And I would almost say they're maybe more sparkly, which could be a pro or a con, but I haven't decided my thoughts just yet. Ooh, this I got at Creators and Friends when we did the My Favorite Things party. Everyone brought like a favorite thing and we traded them. This was Amanda Z's favorite. This is her liquid blush. This is from the brand In Sync. Or no, Half Caked. And I've used this a few times. It's really pretty. It's like the perfect sunburnt blush shade. You know, I'm really into that. So this is the shade Brown Sugar. I really like this one. This is always the stage whenever I'm cleaning anything, whether it's my makeup drawers, my closet, like once I get to this part where I have removed everything and now the actual work has to come, I feel like that's when I lose all motivation. I'm like looking at this pile of things and I'm like, oh my gosh, I do not want to finish this, but we will, we're going to. Do you think this is enough lip liners? I have a problem. I feel like with most other categories, I mean, there's some eyeliners in here too, but with most other categories, I can hold myself back. I don't know what it is about lip liner. They're genuinely my weakness. Now to decide what is going to stay, because I want to do two separate Shop My Stashes. Basically, I want to do a Shop My Stash for this drawer the way I always do, but I also want to pack my makeup bag for my trip, and I know I'm going to choose those products very differently. Like for travel, I do pretty minimal makeup, so this is going to be a normal Shop My Stash, and then we'll do the travel makeup bag at the end because that's going to look really different. But okay, starting with what's going to stay in, of course, that Well People foundation I just mentioned, and the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. Oh, you know what? I have been testing out the Makeup by Mario foundation, but as you can see, this is not my shade. They sent this to me and it's definitely not my best shade match. So I feel like because of that, I can't decide how I feel about it because, you know, it's hard to like something when it doesn't quite match you. So I don't think I'm gonna put this in. I think I am gonna put this one back in. I know I put this in so much, but it's the Fenty Soft Lit. It's just my favorite foundation. But I am gonna put Eavesdrop back. This is the one I've been using the most lately. So we're gonna put that one back for a little bit. And then I am gonna keep in my Natasha Denona concealer. I know I also have this one in a lot, but it really just is my favorite, and whenever I don't have it in my drawer, I'm missing it, so we'll put that one back in. Okay, I'm gonna put some mascaras back, but this one from e.l.f. is expired, so this has to go. This is the Lash Extender. It's one of my favorites, but it's been open too long and it's starting to smell, so I definitely want to toss that one. I'm trying to decide between these two powders. I feel like I always want to have one of these two in my drawer because they are just my holy grail, so I'm like, is it gonna be my Jones Road or is it gonna be my Huda Beauty? But I feel like I've been using my Jones Road powder a lot, so I'm going to throw this one back in. This is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake in Peach Pie, and you know, it has a little bit of a peachy tint, but it's not too peach, so I'm going to put this back in. As well as Brow Dip. I've been using this a lot lately. I've been doing my brows a bit different these days and going for a thinner brow look, and I kind of like the effect that this gives, so I'm gonna put this in. And then I probably should put this back, but when I tell you this is all I have been wearing for the last few months, like truly, I have barely reached for any of my palettes. And I know that should be a reason for me to put this back, but I don't know, I just can't stop with it. So I'm gonna put this one back in. This is the shade Studio from Merit. But I'm gonna also have a few other shadows in, like these new ones from e.l.f. And I will pick a palette later on when we do the real Shop My Stash portion. And then there are some all the time products that I'm gonna put back in, like my eyelid primer, my brow products, lash separator, tweezers. Oh, this as well. This is the color corrector from Sigma. You can see I have a really big pan in this one side. I love this product, so I want to throw this back in too. And then I'm thinking that's going to be it. I think everything else is going to go back and we'll do a mostly new drawer from here. Now though, we need to wash these brushes. So I'm going to take these, plus this is where I store a lot of my brushes that I use on a daily basis. This is just like a brush bag from BK Beauty. So these are my all the time brushes. They are a disaster. So let's go wash these brushes. All right, brush washing time. So the trip that I'm going on is my birthday trip, actually. I wanted to take myself on a birthday trip. I'm turning 31. Actually, I think by the time this video goes up, I will be after my birthday or right around then. And I knew I wanted to do something fun for my birthday, and I've kind of been planning this for a while actually. So I'm doing two cities. I'm doing Paris and Amsterdam. I've been to Paris once before, and this will be my first time in Amsterdam. I remember last year being so scared to turn 30. Just the idea of entering a new decade was really intimidating. And I have to say, I really, really loved being 30. I think being in my 30s, I mean, even though it's only been 1 year so far, I like my 30s even more than my 20s. I just feel so much more sure of myself and my life. That's part of the reason I was so excited to plan this birthday trip, to really just celebrate that. don't have too much planned right now, actually. I have like a lot of things that I'm interested in doing or things that I've seen on social media that I've kind of written down. I always keep a note if I know I'm going somewhere. I'll keep like an ongoing note and I see something and I add it to it. But I like to be like semi-spontaneous when I'm there. You know, I of course have all these things that I want to do, but nothing too structured. So we'll just kind of see how things fall into place. But what I do have planned that I'm probably the most excited about is thrifting. Thrifting is already just like my favorite thing to do, but especially when I'm on a trip somewhere, like this is something I look forward to, just being able to thrift in another country and find different styles of clothing that maybe would be a little bit harder for me to find where I live. And then it's fun taking those pieces back because they're kind of like my souvenir, and then I love wearing them later and being like, oh, this is the sweater I got in Portugal, or like my favorite jeans that I wear constantly, like for sure my most worn jeans I actually got on my last trip to Paris. So I'm hoping I can find some cool stuff this time around. I feel like I'm trying to pack my suitcase very strategically and like as light as possible while still hopefully having everything that I need, but leaving room to like bring things back because I'm hoping I'm gonna find a lot of cool stuff. By the way, the mat is the Sigma Switch. This is my go-to for years. Definitely recommend it, but if you don't have something like this, you can also wash the brush on your hand. So I do that sometimes too, but it's nice to have a mat like this. I think it can really get in between the bristles. And like I said, I've had this one forever. Let's fill these drawers back up. Time for a Shop My Stash. First of all, I realized I haven't reached for this foundation in a long time. This is the REM foundation, and I can't say it's my favorite, but I do like it, and I haven't used it in a while, so let's put that in. I think we're gonna be good on concealer because we already have the High Glam, so let me also take this bronzer stick. Yes, this is me trying to get myself to use something other than the Makeup by Mario bronzer stick. This one from Merit used to be my absolute favorite. Like this was in my yearly favorites a few years back, and I haven't reached for it in a little while, so let's go ahead and put this one in the drawer as well. And then I'm wanting something kind of berry. I feel like I've been wanting to do a berry blush for fall, so let's take the Milani Cheek Kiss liquid blush in the shade Berry Smooch. And I feel like this will be good for that almost like berry cranberry look. You can definitely sheer it out and go for something a little bit lighter, but if I wanted that full on very berry fall look, I think this would be perfect for that. Okay, but two more blushes. This is maybe a lot, but I wanted a few options. So we've got the liquid that's a little more berry, and then I grabbed two powders that are a little bit more of this like bronzer blonzery type tone. So first we've got this one from Pure Cosmetics. It is the shade Blushing Act. It's one of these kind of swirly blushes that has a few different shades in it. Here, let's swatch this next to it. You see, it's a little bit more peachy, and you might think of this as kind of a more summery shade, but I do think paired with some browns on the eyes, I think it could be a really pretty fall combo. And then similar tone, but a little bit deeper, I'm grabbing this one from REM also. This is in the shade Peach Planet. I also feel like this is a really pretty fall shade. This one's a little more matte than the one from Pure. Well, okay. Here's the swatch. Like I said, they're definitely similar, but the Pure one has a little bit more of a sheen to it. The Ariana Grande one, I thought was deeper in the pan, but seeing them swatched, I feel like they're pretty similar in depth, but the Ariana Grande one is slightly more, I keep saying Ariana Grande, the REM one is slightly more orangey versus there's a little bit more pink in this one from Pure Cosmetics. Okay, and here's where I shock you. Lately, I've been feeling highlighters, so we're gonna grab a highlighter. This is from Fenty. This is the shade Pretty Pearls, but I have to be really careful with it because it is broken. This is like one giant piece, and I thought about repressing it, but I feel like it's still pretty intact. I just have to be really gentle with it. So here it is. It's a really pretty like pearlized gold. Well, maybe like champagne. See, oh my gosh, look how pretty that is. It's been a while since I've been wearing highlight, but I've been kind of craving it, having a little bit of glow on my cheeks. I think it'll be really pretty as we move into the fall. So I move into the fall. It is very much fall right now, but we'll put that in. Okay, and then here are the e.l.f. eyeshadows from earlier. Let me at least watch these while we're looking at everything. So first we've got the shade Champagne Showers. It's so pretty just on the finger. I feel like this is my favorite way to look at eyeshadow. Like just the finger swatch is always the prettiest. Swatched out, this is the one that I would say is probably the closest for Space Cowboy. But I also have the shade White Hot, which is slightly lighter, a little bit icier. One thing I'll say right away, like these are very sparkly, but they're a little bit different than Moon Dust shadows because they have as much of that like chunky scattered look that the Urban Decay shadows are known for. So not necessarily gonna be like a dupe like I wanted, but still a pretty shimmer shadow. Also for eyeshadow, I wanted to grab this. This is the Sigma Cool Neutrals palette, and I just feel like I didn't give this enough love when it first came out, and I want to play around with it some more, and I feel like these brown tones that are a little more glamorous and a little more sultry are going to be really pretty both for fall and even getting into holiday season. I just think this is such a holiday appropriate palette with a lot of these shimmers in it, so this definitely had to go into the drawer. Okay, lip liner. I did put a lot back into my storage, but many are staying just because I adore lip liner. I love it. So we'll put those in, and I feel like most of the time when I'm doing a lip, it is mostly lip liner, but I did grab a couple glosses that I feel like will be really pretty for fall that I'm feeling inspired by. The first one is this shade from Patrick Ta. It is called Need Her, and it's this really pretty like rose shade, like a dusty rose, and I feel like I don't reach for tones like this that often, so this will be a fun one to play with. And then I picked out two slightly more brown lip shades. I think these are going to be kind of like the blushes where I'm going to swatch them and think, oh wow, those are very similar. But first we have this one from REM. I've actually picked out a lot of REM this time around, which is interesting. But this is their Glossy Balm in the shade Hocus Cocoa, which is this really pretty sheer brown shade. This one I feel like is nice because it's so sheer. The lip liner is doing most of the work there, which you know I like. So I feel like you can take this and pair it with a more brown lip liner and get a more brown look, or you could really warm it up, do something a little bit more rosy. There's a lot of directions you could take that one. And then I grabbed the NYX Fat Lip Oil. This is the shade Scrollin', and it's definitely a little bit warmer and a little bit more pigmented than the one from REM. You can see this is more of a true brown. This is like an orangey brown. So I feel like these two are just gonna be so beautiful for fall. Again, this is one I think you can pair with a lot of different lip liners and adjust the tone of it because it's not like fully opaque. Okay, looking at the drawer and kind of asking myself, is it missing anything? I think I want to grab a powder bronzer as well. So let's take this one, the NYX Buttermelt. This, like the Fenty, is also broken, but I like this shade kind of as that bronzer look because it is a little bit rosy. And it has even a little bit of a sheen to it as well. So I just feel like it's kind of that all-in-one product that you can use all over the face just to get some life. So I think with that, that's gonna round out this drawer. I'm feeling inspired for fall based on everything that we put in here. And with fall in mind, I actually wanna pick out some perfumes right now. So some that are really seasonally appropriate that remind me of fall. So let's draw my stash now for perfume. Like I said, wanting to do all fall scents here, and out of all my perfumes, the one that makes me think of fall the most is this one. It's from Skylar. It is Fall Cashmere. This has been one of my favorites in my collection for a few years now, and I feel like this time of year I'm always wanting to reach for this, so we definitely have to go with this one. But I also really love this for fall, especially layered. This is Ellis Brooklyn Apple Love, and it's a very fruity scent, but I feel like by the time it sets down on the skin, the dry down isn't quite as fruity, and it gives a really nice fall vibe for me because it really just smells like an apple orchard or something. Like, I think this is gonna be one that I'm gonna wanna layer possibly with this next one, which is from Dime. This is their scent Lovely Dreams. This is a really good vanilla. It reminds me a little bit of one of my favorite perfumes of all time, Vanilla Woods from the Seven Virtues. This is definitely a similar vanilla vibe, but smells very fall, maybe even kind of Christmassy, so I think we'll choose that as well. And then this I've been loving lately. Oh my gosh, so this brand is new to me. This is Le Mans Gourmand, and this is their new scent, Confetti Doris. This smells like a birthday cake to the point, like almost too realistic at first. Like the first time that I sprayed this, I was like, oh my gosh, absolutely not. It smells not even like a vanilla cake or just like a plain cake. Like it is specifically that birthday cake scent, if you know what I'm talking about. And that is the immediate scent I get from this. So when I first spray this, I hate it. But as it sits on the skin, that dissipates a little bit, and the dry down is so much softer. It smells really clean. It is definitely a very sweet gourmand scent, so it is maybe not going to be for everyone, but I like these heavier scents this time of year. I feel like fall into winter is when I'm starting to reach for perfumes that smell really, really sweet, lots of vanilla notes, a little bit heavier, so I feel like these are going to be perfect. So Now we've got the vanity all set up. And I don't always rotate my perfumes out seasonally like this, but I feel like this could be nice for me to kind of just almost consistently be able to like shop my stash with perfume the same way that I do with makeup. So these are a few that I want to wear in the coming weeks. Okay, I also want to swap out my nails before my trip, so I figure let's do some nails together now. I am trying to decide. I grabbed 2 sets that I'm thinking of, both from Glamnetic. I'm kind of leaning towards these, even though I feel like these are supposed to be like a holiday set. Like they feel very Christmassy to me. I feel like red nails could be really pretty. They're called Cherry Glaze, but I also have this set called Mirror Mirror, and they have chrome tips. And I had on a similar set recently, so I'm kind of feeling like maybe we do the red. First, I need to try to get off my current nails. So these are not press-ons that I have on currently, actually. They're stickers, and I looked up this set to see if it was still available. It is unfortunately not, but this is the brand Dashing Diva, and they have these stickers that then you go and cure. So it looks and almost acts like gel. And I've had these on for maybe like a week and a half, and they were starting to lift a little bit. I would say the downside with these sticker type products compared to press-ons, they lift a little bit more from the cuticle in my opinion. Like they don't stay as set down. And so these more than regular press-ons tend to get stuck in my hair, which drives me nuts when I'm just like combing my hair or something. I'm like putting my hand through it and it's like ripping out pieces of hair. So these have to go. They were starting to drive me nuts, even though they look so cute. Like I really, really like the look of these. They look like gel. And I've only used like the Dashing Diva nails like this that are the curable stickers. Okay, there we go. I've only used them a couple times. I mean, you can see it is like, it's no longer a sticker. It is like basically a press-on nail in itself. It's very, very firm once it gets cured. I know this looks bad. You're like, oh gosh, your nail. But I think this is mostly just like residue from the sticker, but we're gonna file everything down. Okay, they're off. That took a while, but now I'm just gonna file down the top a little bit to get some of that glue off. But I also like to have kind of a rough surface for the other nails to stick on top of the new ones, because they'll last a little bit better if you rough up the nail a bit. I accidentally got a little bit of glue on this nail, and then I was trying to get it off and I scratched off a bit of the chrome. So just be careful if you're doing a set that's like this chrome look like this. I feel like now this nail's kind of messed up. I want to replace it. I was trying to take it off and put on a new one that I didn't scratch, but it's just so on here. I don't think it's going to come off for a bit. So we're just going to leave it for now. One more nail to do. I think these are really cute. They're very festive. Maybe I'll rewear this set again at Christmas, but I'm going to save the rest of the nails in this baggie. But these are so pretty. I really like them. I need to file some of them down a little bit. But I think these are gonna be nice for my trip. I always love a red nail. There's just something about it that's like instantly chic and luxe, and it's classic. But speaking of my trip, we need to go pack now. So let's go pack my makeup and skincare. Can we fit everything into this little makeup bag? That is gonna be the question. I am really hoping, as unrealistic as this might be, that we can get skincare and makeup in here, because I'm not planning to bring too much of either. And for skincare, it's pretty much all minis, starting with this mini cleansing balm since I do double cleanse. And then for a face wash, I've got the special cleansing gel from Dermalogica. This is a mini size. A must whenever I travel is always the Tower 28 SOS spray. I love taking this mini with me. I spray that like before the plane, after the plane, all the time, because I am really acne prone. And then also because I'm acne prone, I tend to travel with this as well. This is an azelaic acid serum. I have a few azelaic acid serums, but this is my favorite. It's pretty gentle. It's from Peach Slices, which is the sister brand to Peach and Lily. It's like their drugstore brand. And my skincare routine is normally quite simple, especially when I'm traveling. I'm bringing very little. So the other thing I'm gonna bring is my tretinoin. So this is just my retinol prescription. And then I have this moisturizer that is another mini, and I'm a little nervous because it's like, oh, I'm like, should I take this? It's kind of near empty, and I'm gonna be gone for I think 7 or 8 days. So I hope I don't run out of this, but you know, we're gonna take that. Actually, it could be great if I run out of this on like the last day, then I'll be all set, but we're gonna pack that. And then I'm going to take my sunscreen. This is my holy grail sunscreen. This is my second container of this. It is so good. The best sunscreen I've ever used. It's the Beauty of Chosan sunscreen, and it is SPF 50 PA++++. Wait. Yeah, 4 pluses. But also for makeup, I'm gonna take this. So this is like makeup slash skincare. It is the Super Goop Protect Tint. I'm not planning on bringing an actual foundation, and a lot of times when I try, well, this is a coverage product, but it's also got some sun protection in it. But a lot of times when I travel, I opt for a powder foundation, and I really debated that this time, but I like this because it gives me a little bit of coverage and it can be some additional SPF. And then I did also grab a concealer. So I chose this one. This is the Glossier Stretch Concealer. I've got mine in the shade Light 2, and I like this one because I can apply with my finger, and now that I have these short nails, I can dip my finger in here without making a mess or getting my nail in it. But this is something that I don't need a brush with and I don't need a sponge with, and same for this, I apply it with my fingers. So kind of love this for travel, knowing that I'll have both of these and don't need to bring tools to use them. Okay, for bronzer, this is actually a stick foundation. You saw me talking about this earlier in the video, the Well People foundation, and my shade for a foundation is 14 Fair Neutral. And then this, to compare, is just a couple of shades darker. It's 28 Medium Neutral. And I have been using this so much as a very natural bronzer. That's a tip that I have, especially if you struggle to find a bronzer that's the right shade for you. Choosing a foundation stick that is like 2 to 3 shades deeper than your skin tone will give you a really, really natural look, especially if it's more neutral like this. You know, you don't want anything necessarily too warm toned, but I have been loving this as a bronzer stick, and I wore it the other day with this. I wore just the tinted sunscreen and then a little bit of this on the perimeter of my face, and it looked so natural. It was really effortless, so I think I'm gonna wear that combo on my trip, so I'm excited to bring those two. And I like to blend that out with a brush, so I'm gonna grab this one. This is like a dual-sided brush, but what I end up doing with it is I take the bronzer all over the back of my hand, just like run it on my hand, and then I take this brush and like really work it into the brush. Make sure it's really primed into the brush before I go into the face. So anyways, this is the N17 from BK Beauty. It was their Nikki LaRose collab. I hope this is gonna fit in here. Yeah, kind of. And then a blush. I wanted to choose something very neutral, very, very natural. So this is from Tarte. It is their Amazonian Clay blush in the shade Exposed. And this one can also be used with the same brush. And that's another benefit of this like double-sided tool, is like one is supposed to be for cream and one is supposed to be for powder. So I could choose to apply it like that as well. So, and then I wanted an extra brush for that. See, are you shocked? Are you so impressed with me? I'm packing like so minimal with makeup, and it kind of depends on what type of trip I'm going on. Like there are times when I would pack a full makeup collection, but I'm really thinking for this, I'm not gonna apply much. I'm really just bringing these in case I want the option to, but probably 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna run out the door with just sunscreen on, because this trip is really about adventures for me and just like sightseeing and whatnot. So for this type of travel, I don't typically pack much makeup, but I did want to pack some brow things. So first of all, we've got my favorite brow gel, the NYX Thick It Stick It, or no, yeah, that's what this is called, yeah. So this is nice because it gives a little bit of pigment to the brows and holds them in place. It's kind of a 2-in-1 product. And 9 times out of 10, like once I've applied this, I don't really need to add anything else, but just in case, I'm gonna throw in my brow pencil. This is from Ulta Beauty Collection, their in-house brand, and you know, just a brow pencil. And this is nice too, because then I have the spoolie if I need to use that. I'm trying to decide if I want to pack a mascara, because realistically, I don't know that I'm gonna apply it, but it's just one of those things I'm like, if I don't have it and one day I want to do a little more makeup, I'm gonna be like, man, I wish I had mascara. Okay, so considering that, I'm gonna grab this one. This is the Ulta Beauty, again, same brand. This is their New Heights mascara. It's a very natural looking brown shade, so I feel like this will be perfect too, just because, as you can see, you know, we're not going too glam here, but I think this will fit in. For lips, I want to bring one of these. These are my favorite, the CoverGirl Outlast lip stains. And so this one is nice. It's like pretty close to my lips. It's very much a My Lips But Better shade. And you can apply this over the entire lip, but I like using it as a lip liner stain. And then I like to take it, apply it, and then take my finger and like smudge it out so it looks a little bit messy and blurred. And I think that looks so nice, especially with a really minimal look like I'm planning to wear. But I'm gonna need a lip balm. So we've got my Summer Fridays lip balm. This one is you can see, a little dirty because I feel like it's always in one of my purses or one of my totes, but this is the birthday cake flavor. Not flavor, you don't eat it, but that's the scent. Also, because I did just do press-ons, I'm gonna put in a mini of the nail glue just in case, knock on wood, but just in case we lose one. And then for perfume, okay, normally I would travel with something like this. I debated even bringing this one. This is Kayali Yum Pistachio. And when I say like this, I don't necessarily mean this particular perfume, but this size is what I would typically travel with. But as I've said, I'm trying to pack so minimally, mostly because while I'm there, I really want to thrift and I want to have lots of extra room in my suitcase, both in not only just space in the suitcase, but weight in the suitcase. So I'm really just taking the bare minimum. So I decided to take 2 little sample perfumes that I have that I like the scent of. And then I figured this would be nice because probably by the end of the trip, I will be done with these and I won't have to worry about bringing them back. So these are both from the brand by Rosie Jane. And then this is the scent Lake. I'm a little nervous to put it in here because there's no cap. So again, knock on wood, hopefully that doesn't spill or anything. But I'm taking Lake and then I'm also taking Rosie. I think these both smell nice. And I kind of like the idea of bringing these 2 minis because I am going to 2 cities on this trip. And I always like having a perfume association with a place I've traveled, so I could differentiate and like use one for the first city and then one for the second city, and then, you know, the smell will kind of jog that memory. So that was at least my thought process with packing those. But everything fits in the bag. The brush is tough. I'm almost like, do I pack? I wish this brush, I could like cut it off right here and then it would fit. I think I'm gonna have to pack the brush separately because I don't want to smush the bristles, but that's okay. Everything else is fully fitting in here, which is fantastic. And I'm thinking I have some jewelry that I want to pack as well, and I'm gonna try to fit it just into this tiny little jewelry pouch, but then in theory that should fit in here. So let's see if we can do that. So first I'm bringing these hoops. These are my everyday hoops. These are from Kendra Scott. I also have a very similar pair from Ana Luisa. Actually, I have a gold pair like this from Ana Luisa and a silver pair. So I love these, I really do. It's like an everyday for me. But I also have these larger, thinner hoops. Yeah, I think this will fit in here. Let's see. These I got forever ago in just like a multi-pack on Amazon of different sized hoops. And okay, cool, it fits. I was a little worried. And then for a necklace, I'm thinking this. I like it because it's a layered necklace, so it's gonna look a little more intricate, but it's just the one singular thing to pack. And this one is also from Kendra Scott. A lot of these are older styles, so unfortunately I don't know if they're sold anymore. But I'm also gonna take these 3 rings. Okay, so I have this like kind of chain rope ring, another one that I've had for a very long time, but that is from Kendra Scott as well. And then this one was my friend's mom's ring. Actually, it has a little fuzz on it from my sweater. I was wearing this yesterday with a very fluffy sweater, and I see I got some fuzz on it, but I love this ring. I think it's just so gorgeous, so I want to pack that one. And then this one is also from Kendra Scott, actually. These are like little flowers, and I think it's pretty. I think they'll all look cute with the red nails. I am feeling like maybe the red nails were a little too festive considering Halloween time basically, but oh well. So the jewelry all fits in here, which is fantastic. And then in theory, let's see, it should fit perfectly on top. Okay, yay, isn't that impressive? We got makeup, skincare, and jewelry all in here. And now I'm feeling ready to go. I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.